I am happy and flattered to be a guest of honor on this always exciting and challenging occasion. But looking over the audience tonight, I am less happy than you might think and more challenged than you could know. I stand here at this rostrum, invited to throw rocks at you. You have asked me to tell you what's wrong with you, the American press. The subject not only is of great national significance, but also has, one should say, infinite possibilities and infinite perils to the rock thrower. For the banquet speaker who criticizes the weaknesses and pretensions or exposes follies and sins of his listeners, even at their invitation, does not generally evoke an enthusiastic, no less a friendly response. The delicate art of giving an audience hell is always one best left to the Billy Grahams and the Bishop Sheens. But you are an audience of journalists. There is no audience anywhere who should be more bored, indeed more revolted, by a speaker who tried to fawn on it, butter it up, exaggerate its virtues, play down its faults, and who would more quickly see through any attempt to do so. I ask you only to remember that I am not a volunteer for this subject tonight. You asked for it, for what is good journalism all about. On a working, finite level, it is the effort to achieve illuminating candor in print and to strip away cant. It is the effort to do this not only in matters of state, diplomacy, and politics, but also in every smaller aspect of life that touches the public interest or engages proper public curiosity. It is the effort to explain everything from a summit conference to why the moon looks larger coming over the horizon than it does when it has fully risen in the heavens. It is the effort, too, to describe the lives of men and women, big and small, close at hand or thousands of miles away, familiar in their behavior or unfamiliar in their idiosyncrasies. It is, to use the big word, the pursuit of and the effort to state the truth. No audience knows better than an audience of journalists that the pursuit of the truth and the articulation of it is the most delicate, hazardous, exacting, and inexact of tasks. Consequently, no audience is more forgiving, I hope, to the speaker who fails or stumbles in his own pursuit of it. The only failure this audience could never excuse in any speaker would be the failure to try to tell the truth, as he sees it, about his subject. In my perilous but earnest effort to do so here tonight, I must begin by saying that if there is much that is wrong with the American press, there is also much that is right with it. I know, then, that you will bear with me, much as it may go against your professional grain, if I ask you to accept some of the good with the bad, even though it may not make such good copy for your newspapers. For the plain fact is that the U.S. daily press today is not inspiringly good. It is just far and away the best press in the world. To begin with, its news gathering, news printing, news dissemination techniques and capacities are without rivals on the globe. The deserving American journalist himself enjoys a far more elevated status than his foreign counterpart anywhere. And this, not only because Americans passionately believe that a free press is vital to the preservation of our form of democracy, but because the average American journalists have, on the record, shown themselves to be less venal, less corrupt, and more responsible than the average journalist of many foreign lands. No capital under the sun has a press corps that is better equipped and more eager to get the news behind the news, and the news ahead of the news, the inside, outside, top side, bottom side news than the Washington Press Corps. I must add, only half-jokingly, that if the nation's dailies are overwhelmingly pro-Republican in their editorial policy, then the Washington Press Corps is a large corrective for this political imbalance. Not because Washington reporters are all Democrats, rather because they place on the administration in power their white-hot spotlight of curiosity and exposure, so that no one, Republican or Democrat, can sit complacently in office in this capital, unobserved by the men and women of the press who provide the news and information that can make or break an elected or appointed office holder. It was Claire Booth Luce, famous playwright.
How many words a minute was that?
130.
130.